I call this meeting of the Duncanville Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. And we go into opening ceremonies, and Joe Veracruz will give the invocation.
Please stand. All right, let us pray. Heavenly Father, we know that favor is for purpose, not for status. Favor is for purpose, not for status, Lord, and you've certainly shown your favor on Duncanville and our independent school district. Lord, as we come to an end of this season, we pray for our children, our administrators, our leadership, our school board, and our superintendent, Lord, that as we're separated physically, that in our hearts we'll be together, Lord, and we always pray for just the safety of each one of them, that they will love and just understand the reason for this season, Lord, and that is your Son. Lord, as we approach the state playoffs, I pray for the safety, travel of each team, sportsmanship on the field, Lord, and as always, safety to and from the game. Keep us, Lord. In your mighty name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Our pledges will be given to us from students from Fair Meadows Elementary.
Good evening. Good evening, Madam President. Is it on? Okay. Good evening, Madam President, Board Trustees, and Dr. Smith. I'm Patanya Bell, Principal of Fair Meadows, home of the Mighty Panthers, and we're super excited to be here tonight. Thank you for this opportunity. At this time, I would like to introduce our formidable students, and they are Marco Pignon, please wave at the committee, and our trustees, Anthony Reyna, Gerardo Marchand, Dylan Muniz, Andrea Gonzalez, and Stephanie Hernandez. We also have with us tonight two of our clubs, STEAM Club instructors, Mr. Conant and Mrs. Brown, and also we have a host of family and friends that came with our students tonight. But again, we are super excited about being here in this opportunity. At this time, we would like for our students to walk around and have an opportunity to shake your hands. And a Merry Christmas to everyone.
We will now have recognitions and commendations from TR.
Good evening, Madam President, Board of Trustees, Dr. Smith. So I stand before you once again celebrating our staff, teacher, and student who are made with pride in Duncanville. I'll start off with our Staff of the Month, Ms. Lola Rodriguez. So Ms. Rodriguez is an executive secretary here in the Duncanville ISD Education Plaza. She is truly a servant leader. Her willingness to support and serve others is apparent to anyone who has been around her. It's actually difficult to count all the times that Ms. Rodriguez has stopped what she is doing to lend a hand to others. If she sees someone with a copier struggling, that's been me, she'll stop and help. If someone is needed to help fill a vacancy at the front desk for whatever reason, Ms. Rodriguez graciously steps up. The fact that she actually notices when people around her need help is a true testament to her servant's heart. We are grateful to Ms. Rodriguez for her commitment, empathy, and calm spirit. Her dedication makes us all better. So it's with great pride that we recognize Ms. Lola Rodriguez as our Maid with Pride in Duncanville Staff of the Month. Right, up next, we have Ms. Claudia Ruiz. So Ms. Ruiz is a bilingual teacher at Brandenburg Intermediate School. She is one of those teachers who greets her students every morning with a smile and lots of high fives. With Ms. Ruiz's personal greetings and the care she shows her students, they feel valued and important. They know that their teacher is happy to see them each day. She has volunteered to help with the robotics club and also helps students use their higher order thinking skills to control those robots. And if you've ever seen those robots working, adults sometimes have a challenge with those kids figure them out like they're nothing. It's really, really impressive to watch. Yes, they're naturals, as you said it. She also meets with a group of students after school to teach them how to crochet. The plan is that as they crochet these items, they're going to donate the items that they crochet to those who are in need. So the students are not only learning a skill that will be useful to them, they are also learning to serve and support others. Ms. Ruiz is a great example of kindness and a giving spirit. So it is with great honor that we celebrate Ms. Claudia Ruiz as our Maid with Pride in Duncanville Teacher of the Month. All right, so to continue the celebrations, up next we have our students, Ms. Jariah Cole. So Ms. Jariah is a senior at Duncanville High School, and she is a leader amongst her peers. She has been part of youth and government for the past 5 years, and the last 2 years she's been president. Correct? All right, make sure I got that right. So this fall, Ms. Jariah Cole organized a voter registration drive for her classmates who are qualified to register. And when midterm elections occurred in November, she worked with the youth and government sponsor to organize a field trip to the polls for students who could vote. That is especially notable because Ms. Cole herself is not yet old enough to vote. But she felt strongly enough that this needed to happen and that this civic duty was one that her peers should take account of if they were able to. If she could, she would be doing it. And so the event was titled Panthers at the Polls. And so she demonstrates democracy in action. So it's with great honor and pride that we celebrate Ms. Jariah Cole as our Made with Pride in Duncanville Student of the Month. So as our honorees take a picture with our board president, we do have a video to show you just a little bit more about each of these honorees.
Duncanville ISD congratulates the following student, staff member, and teacher who were made with pride in Duncanville.
I wanted to make sure that people voted because the younger generation tends to not vote and think their voice does not matter, but it's quite the opposite. All of the legislation that's passed and all of the decisions that are made affect us and have a big impact on us in our daily lives.
I like to help other people because it's something natural that I have. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel good. I normally do it without even thinking. Plus, I like to stay busy. I want to stay busy. It makes my job easier, and when you work all day, the time goes faster.
I've worked in a law office for a long time, and I've finally got tired of seeing so many kids getting into trouble. And I felt that if I could help students, children, go on the right path, that even if I just help one person, that would be one less kid that would be getting into trouble in the future.
These honorees truly are made with pride in Duncanville.
And as always, these honorees don't make it here on their own, so they have family and friends in the audience that I'd like to ask if they would not mind standing so that we can recognize them too. Family and friends? I have one more group that we're recognizing tonight. So our cross-country 2018, our boys and girls varsity cross-country teams are here to be celebrated for all of their hard work too. So I'll ask Coach Reed, her staff, and the students to please come to the front as you listen to that celebration of medals. So these are the runners that you usually see in the mornings as you're coming up and down Cedar Ridge, and they have on the bright color so we know where they are and they know that there are athletes. So these are all of those kids who we should be celebrating and honoring. So overall, Coach Lisa Reed has said the girls and boys cross-country teams had a very, very successful season. Varsity boys won district and also had first place overall district champion Isaiah Price. The team took the top 4 medals at district. And this is the 5th year in a row that the boys have qualified for regionals, where they had been the best overall team finish in 5 years. And our varsity girls won 3rd place in district with 2 of the top 10 medalists. The girls also qualified for regionals for the 5th year in a row and had the best finish in 5 years. So that's improvement and progress there. And I don't want to leave out the next group that's up and coming. So our JV also had a great season. The boys dominated the district with 7 of the top 10 medalists and 13 of the top 20 runners. The JV boys won district and had the overall district champion, Adrian Gallegos. And, well, and our JV girls were district runner-up, but had the #1 runner, Julissa Castro. So when you talk about what it takes to be a scholar athlete, these are students who are working very, very hard in the classroom as well as athletically. And so we want to make sure that we celebrate these students for all of their hard work. Thank you.
And I love your t-shirts too, those are nice. Next, we will go to superintendent's reports.
Thank you, Madam President. I have just a few items to update, share, report on with the board this evening. I want to first stay consistent with our theme here with our athletes that we're recognizing. And so want to recognize our football team as they get ready to face Galena Park North Shore High School on Saturday, this Saturday, December 22nd at 7 p.m. at AT&T Stadium. For the first time in 20 years, the Duncanville Panthers football team is returning to the state championship. And so Saturday afternoon was a great crowd, a lot of energy. I was so proud to see the community rally around, come out and support our football team as they defeated the Allen Eagles 44-35, of course, securing a place in the state championship. And so the pre-sale tickets at the athletic office are for $10 for students and $14 for adults. And there are tickets that are being sold online, and that information is on our website. We have just a brief, I think a 20 or 30-second video just capturing some of the moments from this weekend. But again, just want to thank the community. It's amazing what a community can do as it comes together and rally around and supporting the football program and all of our athletic programs. And it truly brings home the theme of the City of Champions. And so it was just a great day, and we are looking forward to seeing us get this victory on Saturday. So I want to share just this quick brief video, and then we'll move to the next item.
It didn't matter who was in front of us. We were playing to win. Our goal is to win a championship.
So again, this weekend, just looking forward to, we are the main event at 7 p.m. And so looking forward to seeing all of the community and staff and all the support that we can to cheer us on to victory. So very proud of our coaches and our students and our football team and everyone who supports what's going on there. So looking forward to this Saturday. Transitioning to an update on the child nutrition administrative review. Basically, that is an audit that occurs every 3 years. And so they review a number of different programs within our child nutrition department. For example, the free and reduced lunch meal applications, verification of applications, counting and the claiming of meals, the nutrient analysis, a lot of the financials associated with child nutrition. There's just a number of different areas that are audited. So I'm really proud of our staff to report to you that we had an excellent audit. There were no findings. And so that's a compliment to the work that our child nutrition leadership team does on a regular basis, especially with the review occurring every 3 years. And so we're really proud of the work that they're doing. We are now prepared to receive the recognition of our status from the commissioner, who happens to be Mr. Sid Miller. And then once that process takes place, our results will be posted on the TDA, or Texas Department of Agriculture's website. So I wanted to share an update with you on the audit that we took. It takes about 12 weeks to conduct the audit. So it's just a lot of work that goes on, and really proud of the staff that we have there. The next item that I have for you is to give you an update on our bus wrap design. Several board meetings ago, the board supported and approved the district to buy several school buses, 10 school buses, and some activity buses. Obviously, we have a lot of activities going on throughout the district, and so these buses will have a charter-style look and feel and seating arrangement on the inside, but we wanted to show you what they're going to look like on the outside. One of the things that we wanted to do is make sure that the students had a role and a voice in this process. And so students from Mr. J. Lamar's graphic design and illustrations class, they were responsible for coming up with several different ideas as to what the bus wrap design would look like. And so tonight we are showing the top design, which came out of that work, was submitted by Dante Baptiste, and I think Dante's not here today. He did make it. Okay, if you could stand up. Yeah, be recognized. And Mr. J, if you could stand as well and be recognized. So I was I was just visiting Duncanville High School one day, walking down the hall, going through different classes, and so I passed by Mr. J's class, and he's working with his students, and he gets up, and he basically kind of just flags me down. And so I go in and meet him, and we talk, and so he shows me all the things that he's working on. And he has some other ideas that we spoke about that he's going to be presenting. But that really was the birth of this opportunity that we have now. And so I think I mentioned to him at that time, we were looking at buying some buses. And so we wanted to make sure that we included his classroom in the design. And so they did a really good job. It's going to look really great. Anytime we're on the road, people will know it's the Duncanville Panthers. And so it came from the creative work of the dynamic duo there, so we appreciate them. The design will be submitted to the Longhorn Bus Group, which is the group that we're purchasing our buses from, and they're going to do the graphic design, and they're going to finalize the wrapping of the buses, and we are hoping that later this spring, toward the end of this school year, that we'll have the buses on our property and ready for utilization beginning next school year. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
And then the last item I have is just to remind everyone that this is our last week before we begin our winter break. It's been a really good first semester. I want to thank all of our staff, all of our teachers, all of our parents, our school board for helping us and contributing to the success that we've had. So we want to just continue to maintain that. We want to take some time and rest and reflect and enjoy family over the break, and we'll be ready to go on January 9th. The students return January 9th, and Monday, January 7th, Monday, and Tuesday, January 8th are teacher work days, a design day and a teacher work day. So we won't have any classes through December 24th through January 8th. So we want to wish everyone happy holidays and Merry Christmas. That concludes the reports that I have, Madam President.
Thank you very much. We will now move to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Madam President, I make a motion that the consent agenda as prepared for the session that we move item A from the actual agenda to the consent agenda.
Thank you. Okay, Tom made a motion to have items 6A moved to the consent agenda, and Phil McNeely seconded. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes 7-0.
And then before we go to the information, I'm going to bring Kathleen up.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Kassan.
All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carries 7-0. And Dr. Smith?
Yes, we have one last item before we get to the next information items on the board agenda. I'm going to call Ms. Kathleen Brown to come up and make an introduction.
Good evening, Madam President, Board of Trustees, Dr. Smith. It's with great pleasure that I would like to introduce you to, or reintroduce you to, our new Director of Information Systems, PEAMS, right here from Duncanville ISD, Ms. Melinda Turner. Melinda, will you join me? A little bit about Ms. Turner. Ms. Turner started her career in education as a special education teacher in Houston ISD. She moved to Coppell ISD the following year as a resource and content mastery teacher, where she served for 3 years. She made the great choice to join the Duncanville ISD in 2003, where she has served as a teacher, assistant principal, and currently as the director of early childhood. Ms. Turner has been a part of the Duncanville family for over 15 years, and she's excited about her new opportunity to join us as the director of PEAMS, Public Education Information Management Systems. That's a mouthful, but we know you've got it. It is always great when we have the talent right here in our district to take care of such an important task, and so we're excited for you. Ms. Turner, we would love for your family to stand. Her baby was born here, I remember. So, we're glad. Congratulations. You want to shake hands? Sure. Great deal, great deal. We now move to information agenda item A, performance-based monitoring analysis system update by Kathy Sewell.
All right. Good evening, Madam President, Dr. Smith, members of the Board of Trustees. I'm here to visit with you briefly regarding our PBMAS review for 2018. There we go. So the first question you may ask is, what is this system? And what PBMAS does is it measures the success of our district special population's performance in comparison to the performance of our general education population. This system ensures equity in learning for all of our student populations, and it can impact district instruction, potentially for the allocation of resources if needed. With performance levels, a performance level is based upon the subpopulation performance on a STAR test, and what that performance level is compared to is the general education performance on a STAR test. And so those performance level indicators will show whether your district is being successful in comparison to the general education students with the special population of students, or whether there's work to do. And so once these are calculated, then TEA has a cut score, and as you see here, these performance levels are indicative, of what a cut score category may be. So based on the average performance level, a district will be staged, stage 1, 2, 3, or 4. For 3 and 4, this stages require actually improvement plans that have to be submitted to the state. They have to be approved by the state, and they are monitored by the state. For stage 2, we have just basically a local plan that we monitor internally. Of course, TEA can call for that at any time, so we always, want to be very mindful of our local plan and what we do to monitor ourselves. And then stage 1 is just monitoring of systems for continued improvement. So attached to this slide, you'll see our student groups. And of particular note, our ESSA students are not actually identified as a stage 4 currently. We have sent in a corrected data file that has been approved by TEA. So that's really good news, and we don't have any staging for our ESSA students. Our other student groups who are here represented, again, are ELLs, CTE, and special ed, and those are all at a stage 2, which requires no formal monitoring by the state. So I'm going to highlight these special populations very quickly so you all can see where we are and where our improvements lie. We also have CTE as a student special population. However, our CTE scores were comparable and competitive with our general education scores, except for our students who were double-coded, either CTE LEP or CTE special education. So our plan basically focuses on those two subpopulations because they cross over into CTE and affect that, but our regular CTE kids who are not double-coded are competitive with our general education students. So for bilingual ESL, our math has increased for most categories. We've had increases with science. Our LEP students, year after exit, which means those are the students that met requirements on STAR, did well, they're in regular education, they're doing great. And so that's a real positive piece for us in that sub-pop. Our areas of focus are writing. Our EOC scores need additional support in all areas. And our ESL students who have denied services also need some additional support. So we put a plan in place to provide outreach and education for our parents. So the different categories that you see here in charts, this is a comparison, and it's color-coded from 2015 to 2018. It's comparing the last 3 years of data, or pardon me, 4 years. And as you can see, just the trajectory of most of the categories are going in an upward fashion, which means we're increasing and improving every year as our students are in these special populations. Again, as we noted before, our ELAR and writing scores are our area of extreme focus, but we are improving, and that's good news. Our special education students, again, the students who have exited in grades 3 through 8, who are actually in the regular education program, are improving, so that's good news. Our EOC math scores have reflected some improvement. And again, we're still looking for improvement in all areas with special ed. That's something that we strive to achieve for students in this special program. And again, writing is an area of focus for this group, but for really all our groups in the district. And these charts here show again our color-coded progress from 2015 to 2018, and they're going up. This is really good news, and so we hope to have them continue to go up, to have our students perform well, and to enjoy more success with STAR and all their academics leading them to graduation eventually in our system. So our PBMAS plan, we have a team that we have assembled. Ms. Bonneau, Ms. Goodman, Ms. Casal, and many of our directors have been instrumental in putting this plan together. And our 3 primary areas that we will focus on will be reading and writing, 3 through 8, reading and writing, 9 through 12, and then also, again, as I mentioned earlier, outreach for our parents, so that parents who don't understand our program for English language learners, that they have a better understanding of the benefits, so we can get more students in that program and acquiring English more rapidly. So I'd be happy to answer any questions if y'all have any.
No, thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
We now move to information agenda item B, tax roll analysis, presented by Dr. Ed Bigby.
Good evening, Board, Dr. Smith. Every year, the Linebarger firm brings you a presentation. We contract with them to collect our delinquent taxes, and they bring you up to speed on where that is. So Pam Johnson is, I was hoping she was here. I thought I saw her back there. She's going to bring that report.
Okay.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam President, Dr. Smith, and Board Trustees. As Mr. Bigby said, my name is Pamela Johnson, and I have with me Sandra Tay. She is your client liaison for this area. Let's see if I can work this. Let's see what happens here. Okay. So I am a partner with Linebarger, Goggin, Blair, and Sampsons, and for the last 42 years, we have partnered with counties, cities, and school districts in helping collect the much-needed revenue in order to fund the essential public services in each of your jurisdictions and districts. We are a member of the Dallas office, where over 100 attorneys and collection professionals represent you every day. And for the last 16 years, we have been your attorneys. And as your attorneys, we also like to be partner with different community organizations in your community. So of course, we support the Duncanville ISD Education Foundation, your Lions Club, your chamber, and we are also very active with the Best Southwest Chamber as well. And of course, we just wanted to let you know a little bit about us. This last year, we were honored in Dallas County as in the partnership with the tax office, improving the collections for a number of years. So of course, you know your collection rate, your current collection rate has been for the last several years over 90%, which is great. We like to say we are part of the partnership that have helped you achieve that collection rate. So down to business. Every April and July, we receive your turnover from Dallas County. We take the time to look at that roll to come up with a customized collection plan for your citizens. And after we've looked at it, the first thing we want to do is identify the accounts that are protected. Those will be the accounts that are in bankruptcy, or where there may be someone over 65 or disabled who have applied for a deferral, and those will not be part of the customized collection program. So once we've analyzed your roll, we start to send a number of mailings on your behalf. We will do the address research. Of course, if you can't contact the taxpayer, you can't collect. So we make sure we have the best address that we can find. And we contact your taxpayers by telephone calls as well. As a site visit, Sandra Tay is the person who will be in your community doing the site visits, and she will visit businesses and sometimes homeowners in order to help them resolve their delinquency. In doing so, and as we contact them, we will also take the time to negotiate payment arrangements. And we know that if it's important to talk with them to help them resolve the issue. Sometimes when you get a letter from an attorney, it's kind of off-putting, but we want the citizens to know that we'll talk to you and help you resolve the issue. And so, of course, for some of the citizens who remain delinquent, then those accounts are targeted for lawsuit, and we will file the lawsuits on your behalf. I'm now going to turn it over to Sandra Tay, who will talk to you about your most current statistics.
Hi, I'm Sandra Tay, your client liaison. This graphic shows you, we compare what we received this year to last year. So we received about 15.5% more turned over to us for collection this year, so we have a little bit more to work with, which means some of your taxpayers didn't pay on time, a few more than last year. And this just compares the amount of accounts versus the dollar amount. So if you look at this, you can see that 134 of your accounts are over $5,000, and they take up money-wise, about 64% of your role. So we start with the highest and work down to try to collect as much money as we can for you as soon as possible. And this shows what we've collected in the last year for your last fiscal year, 1.8. And as we said before, we start out with collection letters and we make phone calls. And if that doesn't get their attention, then I personally go out and talk to them and try to convince them to make this a priority, and we can work out payment arrangements rather than have to go through the lawsuit process. And that works a lot of the time. And then if that doesn't work, then we'll file a lawsuit, take a judgment, and then post the property for sheriff's sale. And then they have all the way up until the day of the sheriff's sale to pay the taxes to save their property. And of course, this is always a cost-free program to the school district. Does anyone have any questions?
I want to thank both of you, what you do for the district and how you help the community too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We now move to information agenda item C, strategic goal number 2 update.
Good evening again, Madam President, Dr. Smith, members of the board. I'm here to report to you on Goal 2, which is focusing on students, family, and the community. Of particular interest in this goal, we have multiple opportunities for families and parents to participate in education. We provide parents and families access to various resources to support them, and we also strive to provide safe, nurturing learning environments for our students. So the first area is our family engagement, and as you can see, we have a team with coordinator and liaisons, and we also have our family engagement steering committee. We have department collaboration. Our engagement group also conducts surveys so they know what parents are interested in learning, what parents' needs are, and what their needs are for their children. And so they use those surveys to drive a lot of their activities and trainings and what they do. They also provide a lot of good communication through our district website, their calendar, and through social media. So here's a list of different things that the department and our campuses offer for families to engage. And as you can see with the workshops, there are not only academic workshops where students and families and parents can engage in academics. There's also making healthy choices, other things about drug awareness so that parents are learning about social and emotional things that students need. And then you'll also notice that there are just parent education classes for resume building and other things for adult education that will help our parents. We've also got a list here of our events from last year, and as of October, we're on course to potentially surpass the number that they had last year, so that's really good news. And here we have a slide that shows multiple programs for families, and we have a GED program, and we have an ESL program for our parents to learn English and to also get their general education diploma. We do have one parent here that did earn her GED last year, Miss Gabriela Ramirez. She was featured on Telemundo, so that was kind of an exciting event. I was not here for it because I just got here, but they said she was very happy and it got a lot of great press coverage for our adult education programs. And we also have our Panther Dads. The Panther Dads is also known as the All-Pro Dads, and this curriculum focuses on dads spending quality time with their children, being good husbands, fathers, and just learning about being a good family member altogether. And so then what happened was after the Panther Dads took off, the moms said, well, wait a minute, we want to have some mom activities. And so thus this year we have begun the Panther Moms program, and they're also learning and experiencing different types of training to be better moms and wives and family members. So that's very exciting that we offer those. Our ESL classes are at Hastings, and our GED classes are held at Hardin. Our next area is giving access to families for resources and also for volunteering opportunities. And so we've got 3 categories here. Access to resources. Our campuses have parent resource centers, and in those resource centers, they've got access to parent magazines, and those parent magazines are in English and Spanish, and they help them understand some research-based activities and best practices for parenting in the home at different age groups and different age levels. We've got academic take-home packets for them to take home to help their children with, reading or math or things like that. They're both in English and Spanish. Technology access, Ready Rosie is a little program that shows videos that parents can access on their phone, and it's really designed for our youngest learners so that parents can show them their shapes and their colors and numbering and counting and different things to do at home that's free and easy, and Ready Rosie helps our parents do that. So our students are kindergarten ready and first grade ready. And then we also have places where we can host workshops for parents to volunteer. And in my notes here, I have that we had 556 parents volunteer last year. And as of to date, for October, and of course that number's still growing, but we've already had 250 volunteers engaging this year. So that's also very positive to report. And our next area here is our social service organizations for physical needs. And there is just a lot of great things going on in Duncanville ISD, not only with our family engagement department, but also with our counseling services. And so some of the things that are highlighted here are, number 1, Coats for Kids. This is where the Rotary Club is collecting used coats at various businesses and organizations in Duncanville. And what we're going to add to this is our Duncanville ISD Board of Trustees is collecting new coats. So we've got double the amount of coats now, new and used, so more kids are going to benefit and in better ways. And so thank you, Board of Trustees, for adding that. We'll have that for our list for next year to engage and help our students stay warm in the wintertime. Also, we've got a lot of different other things like the Duncanville Outreach Ministry. They, as well as the Food for Kids Backpack Program, they allow students to have backpacks with food, and they provide food for some of our food negligent students that need to have that food on the weekends. And so the Turnaround Agenda and the Duncanville Outreach Ministry also help with clothing. Our Toys for Tots obviously are collecting toys for the Christmas season, and they are sponsored by Parks in the Wood Recreation Center, and also the Santa Cop program is an outreach for students to have toys and other things like angel trees and things of that nature to help students in the community. Our counseling department and our communications department here in the plaza also have an angel tree, and so we have students that, we have our angels and everyone sponsors and provides them with lots of gifts and things that they want for Christmas. So we have a lot of great things going on to help our families in need. Also, our social service organizations. I've got some notes here on this. There are so many things that go on in the community. I had to have lots of good notes to be able to share these accurately with you. Again, we have the Turnaround Agenda. This is a social arm of the Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship, and they've got wraparound services for our families. They help them with shelter. They help them with paying bills. They help them with clothing. And we have counselors that reach out and help our families directly through this program. It's a real benefit to a lot of our families in need. And then we also have our Youth 180. And y'all will have to just really know that there are so many great things going on. The Youth 180 is another counseling service that provides counseling to students in our schools. And we also have the Metro Care Services. This is in Dallas County, and it provides a comprehensive array of services and supports for people dealing with the challenges of mental illness. We also have Hamilton and Guy. That's a counseling service that provides counseling for families, emotional assessments, group assessments, group counseling, and individual counseling, not only outside of our schools, but in our schools as well. So we have a lot of great things going on to meet the needs of our students. As you can see here, we've got our counseling department. They have provided a high number of counseling sessions and guidance sessions, group and individual counseling, and SEL, which is social emotional learning, in our classrooms. And they provide guest speakers to help students. Sometimes it's easier to learn something when you're a student when someone comes from the outside. They're more of an expert than sometimes those of us who are with them in education every day. And that concludes my presentation. If y'all have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
No questions.
All
Thank you
right.
very much.
Thanks so much.
We now move to information agenda item D, transportation update, presented by Brad Hamrick.
Good evening, Madam President, board members, Dr. Smith. I got to get this ready real quick. It's my pleasure to bring to you this evening a short update on some of the questions that were raised during the original presentation in October. Some of those things that came up were discussions about how we monitor things and how we follow up on what we do on a daily basis. Some of the things that we monitor on a daily basis are our pre-trip and post-trip inspection. Basically what a pre-trip is drivers go around in the mornings and check their lights, tires, windows, those kind of things. How we monitor that on a daily basis is trainers are out on the parking lot, operations supervisors out on the lot every morning and during those times. And then we've corrected several. We've had several that we've corrected. And then we do spot checks along the way to follow up and make sure that they're following through with the direction that they've been given. As I mentioned in October, our training program is going online via the Safe Schools program. We're working with Dr. Cyprian on getting that taken care of, and what that will do is that will allow us to take all of the training that we do on a daily basis, all of our paper and the videos and those kind of things, and put them out on the web so that we can assign them to groups, we can assign them to coaches and teaching staff as well, so that it ensures that they get all of the training that our regular route drivers do during the day. Just makes for a more robust, thorough training process, ensuring that everybody's getting the same amount of training, and it's all documented via Safe Schools. And only a score of 100 will get you a passing grade, so that you can move on to the next level. Safety is concerned. You got to get 100 on your exam. So. Using our professional development days, like we mentioned in October, this past professional development day, October 22nd, we had 26 drivers that attended recertification for first aid and CPR. The remaining drivers in the group, we were at transportation where we discussed the PAC, and we go over each level of that, the professionalism, the accountability, and the communications, and we touch on each of those on every professional development day. We go over driver safety training, defensive driving, loading, unloading procedures, some of those things that are extremely safety sensitive. And then Dr. Cyprian came by and talked to us for about an hour on just how to remain calm in those stressful situations. Parent approaches the bus, kind of how we handle that and what we do diligently and deliberately every day and work on just to stay calm in those situations. Railroad crossings are always a place where we need to be extra cautious, and what we teach is according to the Texas Transportation Code that's listed there, and that's how we expect our drivers to conduct themselves at the stops, as well as using Operation Lifesaver, which is an online training program that we go through. A right turn on red, there's usually some discussion about whether or not that's legal in a school bus. According to Texas Transportation Code, that is legal for a school bus. Right turns on red are really not illegal for any specific vehicle. So monitoring and observation. The main thing that we do, the best, most thorough thing that we can do is actually get out on the bus and ride with the drivers. We have trainers, supervisors that are going out and riding with these drivers, observing them one-on-one, offering feedback not only during the route, as far as how they're doing things. We cover everything, I mean, but also on the other end, as far as documentation and in writing, and then putting them back through training programs as far as things that they do. Basically, all they're looking for are procedural things and driving violations, and then we're taking corrective action after that. The three other tools that we use are spot checks during routes. I'm out quite often, usually 2 or 3 times a week, and I'll just pick a route and I'll just go sit, or I'll go sit at the railroad tracks and just make sure that we're stopping and that we're doing the things that we're supposed to do. I'll go sit at routes. If we get phone calls from parents, I'll go sit out and I will observe what is actually going on or what their concern is, and then I'll reply back to the parent as far as whether or not we're making any changes or if it's okay, basically. Right. And then the fourth one, and Manny's working on that now for me. I did, computer timed out, and he's trying to get logged back in for me. But basically, it's the EduTracker software, which is a software that we use on a daily basis. It's at my fingertips, and when we were here in October, that software was going through a maintenance update. So I didn't feel comfortable in bringing that to you and saying, yes, we use that, when I didn't have it to use. And the last thing I needed or wanted was for somebody to come by and say, hey, show me how this is working, and I don't have access to it at that point. But EduTracker is a software we've had for about 4 years now. Goes through, we're able to monitor speed on a daily basis. We can monitor speed live, stop location live, stop times, and we can actually locate any vehicle that the district has at any time throughout the day. Manny's going to switch that over real quick, and I'll give you all a live demo on how we use EduTracker on a daily basis. All right. What we're looking at here, this is what I can look at daily, live throughout the day. Right now we're looking at Route 11, and this is from today. So basically the way this works is if we get a call or something, we can hover over one of the diamonds, and it will tell us the speed and the time that GPS ping was given. And I can go through any number of stops at any time during the day. So we get a call that says, bus is going too fast at a certain area. It's very easy to go back and either say yes we were, or no, according to GPS we were not. Additionally, on a daily basis, it will allow us to check stop times. So those are noted by the red stop signs. It gives us a breakdown it gives us a timestamp as far as what time that bus was there and for what duration. So a common complaint when a child misses the bus is the bus didn't stop at my house or didn't stop to pick up the kids. This is a real easy, quick way to kind of put that to rest, or to bring the driver in and counsel them and find out what was going on at that time. So, also on a live daily deal, daily check. This is a real easy way to just kind of spot check and see speeds. Based on the legend on your left, it breaks down as far as speed range throughout the day. So basically when I click through here, what I'm looking for is I want the majority of my speed in the city limit of Duncanville to be somewhere in that 0 to 45 mile an hour range. I don't want to see I want to see very little in the orange and none in the red, especially through town. Its maximum speed limit in town is 45 miles an hour on just about any street. So that's just a real quick way we can run through the buses, and we can run through every one of them, just kind of double check our speed and what's going on a daily basis. Historically, we have access to information for up to a year. Basically what we can do is we don't get a call until the next day, or I get an email the following morning with a concern. So what we'll do is we'll go back in and we'll open up a historical page. I picked December 12th on this particular one. And basically what we can do is it will track the bus as it went along its path on the particular day. If you'll notice up on the left, it also gives the speed and the heading for that at that particular time. So basically I have access to all the information historically that I do live. So that's the basics of how we use EduLog or EduTracker on a daily basis. It's a great tool. Nothing will take the place of actually physically being there, but it's kind of, you know, we can't be in every place all the time, and this is a tool that gives us that access to the insight into that. I will mention, and I forgot to mention earlier, that all of this is in addition to the video systems that we use on a daily basis. So the 4 tools that we use to monitor and observe what's going on a daily basis, and us ensuring that the drivers are meeting expectations, or our video systems that are usually reactive. We pull those when we get when we have complaints, ride-alongs, EduTracker, and then just being out on route and doing spot checks without anybody knowing where we're at. So I'll gladly answer any questions that you may have at this time.
How often do you do ride-alongs?
Ride-alongs are done. We try to get 4 a week. So basically what that looks like, depending on staffing and how many people are out, is a route supervisor will go out and they'll hop a bus and ride the morning high school run. They'll switch it to high school and they'll ride another bus's elementary run, so forth and so on. And we do that with our special needs, our regular routes, and our student management supervisor also. I have 1 regular route supervisor, 1 special needs coordinator, and then a student management representative that take care of those duties. So. Right now, the way we're structured right now, I don't have a quote-unquote trainer position as it's listed on, I believe it's actually listed as a route supervisor, but he is our trainer. So he's kind of filling both roles. The trainer will take a driver with no experience, take them through getting their commercial learner's permit, through getting their commercial license, and then all the ongoing training after that. Everything from loading, unloading procedures, basic defensive driving skills, those kind of things as far as how to handle the bus, and spends a lot of time with them on the pre-trip, post-trip part of it, because that right now that's a huge deal with DPS as far as identifying components, knowing what you're looking for when you do those, when they go through that process. So.
How many coaches we have that drive?
I believe it's about 30, right about 30, 34, or somewhere in that.
How many coaches do we have?
Maybe 2.
I think we'll try to get that number up.
And that is something that we're working with athletics. Yeah, well, it does. In a way, it's kind of a coordination between the 2 of us, because it's time for both of us away. It's time for his guys away from school and away from the classroom. In addition to what we're training and doing, then we make time for them around their schedule so that we're available when they are.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That EduLog transportation manager is very interesting. I'm glad you showed that to us.
It's a really, really interesting tool that we use.
Yeah.
It's very helpful on a daily basis.
It's a video game.
Yeah, it is.
I just wonder how many people are playing it.
Thank you for your report.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it very
You're welcome.
much.
Thank you.
And thank you, Manny, for helping too. We now move to information agenda item E, bond update, presented by Andrea Fields.
It went from real tall to vertically challenged here.
Don't show us any bathroom pictures. Before and after.
Well, good evening, Madam President and board members and Dr. Smith and waiting audience. This evening, it is really my great pleasure to present the 2014 Bond Update and Report Card. Tonight is really a night of celebration as we are elated to announce that the work is complete. First, we are so grateful to our Board of Trustees and the Community Citizens Advisory Committee, and I think some of those members are in the audience, the entire Duncanville ISD community, and just thankful for the vision that they had for our students to really make sure that they had facilities that were excellent and they could carry on education in a wonderful environment. Tonight, we also want to thank all of our leadership, all the superintendents that served, Dr. Smith, and our general contractor, North Star, architects, Huckabee and Corrigan, and we have some members of Huckabee with us tonight, Mr. Andre Brackens and Mr. Luke Powell. And we just want to thank the Duncanville ISD family for the work over the last 4 years to bring the numerous projects to fruition. So tonight I'm going to kind of do a retrospective view of the bond and the bond report card. And of course, that first picture we had was of, I was not here, but I understand as I did my research, that was the school raising that was held on September the 28th of 2015, I believe, for Hastings Elementary. So what you have before you now, so I go through these quickly, is the new construction Hispanic facilities are part of the bond, of course, the replacement of Acton Elementary School, replacement of Hastings Elementary School. You see all of that, the status 100% complete, Hyman Elementary School, and then, of course, Kennemer School, Middle School expansion. As far as the district-wide upgrades, all the schools received upgrades, safety, security, and expanded technology. And then, of course, part of this was aging facilities. And you see, of course, under the safety and security packages, the campuses that were part of that, and the scope of the work, update surveillance systems, security cameras, the access control expansion, lighting, some outside and then some inside, and of course the door hardware, all complete packages for both of those. And of course the campuses that were new or expanded, that's when they received much of this work. In technology, of course, a lot of infrastructure work, data cabling, the phone system was updated, and there were a lot of money spent out of that $17.6 million for upgrades on classroom technology. Of course, I think aging facilities is what I've spent a great deal of my time working with since I've been here. And of course, Daniel Intermediate School, of course, was one of the first campuses that received the aging facilities update. And then the packages, the last couple of packages there, you see the campuses. Basically, we've touched every campus, and this, of course, the scope of work dealt with the ADA compliance, all the ramps, the awnings, restroom renovation, drinking fountains, and of course, you may recall as I've stood here the last few months telling you about Brandenburg and the expanded scope there, new flooring, secure vestibules, all the work that was done in the library. So that work, again, complete. And then package 3, which was the last of it, was the fire panel, the fire alarm, and the public address systems. And of course, you see all the campuses listed there, even at Bill Hart's and Central Kitchen and Pace High School also received that. So that portion, aging facilities, is also complete. And this is just kind of a picture of some of the things that have gone forth in pictures. A beautiful Acton Elementary School. I was there this morning, and you see the work there. Hastings, again, complete, beautiful educational facility. Hyman, and of course, some of the work there. This happened before I came to the district, but the work finished there, and $2.5 million. Kennemer Middle School expansion, of course, when it was expanded, we were anticipating perhaps bringing sixth graders there, but you know that it's home to our excellent choice program, the STEAM Academy, and of course the students are currently there, new furniture for that particular wing, so we're excited about that. And then aging facilities, all the work, the ADA compliance, you see, I think that's at Brandenburg with the striping there with the handicap parking. Several of the campuses received that along with ramps. Of course, you see the secure vestibule at Merrifield, the canopy at Hardin, the flooring at Brandenburg, and ADA modifications, and of course, at Byrd Middle School. So we just kind of took a sample of some of the work that was done. Panther Stadium, all 4 of the restrooms, sorry, I couldn't take it out, But I want to focus on the fact that all of the restrooms did receive the changing stations. They're all there, and also electronic hand dryers. So hand dryers there so that will save us from having trash and clutter and all of that, and it keeps the restrooms really nice and tidy. Just some facts and figures about safety security packages 1 and 2. Of course, we didn't touch every door everywhere. Some of the places already had some of the card readers, but there were 99 card readers. You see 706 cameras, part of this, 60 restroom renovations, and 54 water fountains were reinstalled. It's brand new. And of course, Collegiate Academy, I inserted that because it was not a part of the 2014 bond funds, but of course, we're very proud of the work that was done, and $1.2 million from a former bond. So when we have savings, these are the kind of things that we can do. And of course, fully furnished and operable, one of our first choice programs, Collegiate Academy. And I'm also happy to report that we anticipate we'll have approximately $3 million worth of savings for the bond. So under budget, on time, complete. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Any questions? We think it may be a little bit more than that, but I'm going on the conservative side.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you.
As a graduate of Duncanville High School, I just enjoy seeing the changes so much. Just makes me proud. And thank you for bringing it to us.
And thank you so much for everything. Thank you.
Do I have to read all those? Okay. We now move to the communications from citizens, and we received one card. And before you make your way up to the front, please allow me to read the following. State law prohibits board members from responding to speakers in public forum unless the topic regards a matter specifically posted on tonight's agenda. The board will carefully consider any concerns expressed, and an administrator will investigate the matter. At your request, the administrator will contact you regarding your concern. Speakers will limit their comments to 5 minutes. If more than 5 speakers are present, speakers must limit their comments to 3 minutes. If delegations of more than 5 people plan to speak on the same topic, they should appoint one representative to speak in their behalf or be limited to 5 speakers. Any discussion concerning specific personnel is prohibited in open session. If you wish to address the board regarding a personnel matter, please contact the superintendent's office to schedule the matter for a future closed session meeting. Having stated that, please come forward. Janelle Kyler. State your name and your address, and you have 5 minutes to address the board.
Good evening. My name is Janelle Kyler. I live at 918 Marissa Court in DeSoto, Texas. I am a student at Duncanville High School and a member of the Collegiate Academy. In addition to that, I am a part of the Parent Teacher Student Association, also known as the PTSA, as a part of Duncanville High School. In partnership with the Career and Technical Education at our school, okay, thank you, at our school, we'd like to formally invite all members of this delegated board for the Cancer Survivor Dinner, which will be held January 24th, 2019, in the East Cafeteria of Duncanville High School. We acknowledge all cancers, and if you have someone in your life or you who has survived cancer, then you may inform them of this dinner that will be held. And you can invite one guest, and RSVP information is on the form that will be passed out. And thank you. Okay, thank you.
If you have anything you want to pass out, you can hand it to Ms. Jody Lofton, and she'll make sure the board gets it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You did a good job. Thank you for coming to the meeting. Being that there are no further items to discuss, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you for your